People come from all walks of life. They all have lives they lead. Any and all are welcome here to come and chat with me.
Oh, hi, everyone. I think you're going to really enjoy today's interview, especially those people who don't like to exercise because they complain about the pain. All right. Well, let me tell you something. Today's guest is a pain-free movement and small muscle builder specialist. Ladies and gentlemen, Kim Bond. Welcome to the show, Kim.
Hi, Nancy. Hi, everybody. How are you doing today? Everybody's good?
Everybody say you're good.
Right? Speak to the audience. Good.
Okay,
Good
so
morning.
yeah, I just want to backtrack if that's okay. And when you first became involved in fitness training of any kind.
So, my journey has been a long one. Um, this is a crazy part of my story. When I was 8 years old and I went to Richardson Elementary in North Delta, BC, a grade 3 teacher started a group fitness class on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6:30 a.m. And there was a group of us, like 20 of us, and we are talking in 1980, way back. And we did a segment together as a group to Fleetwood Mac the Chain. And we did bum scooches all the way around the gym, all the way around on the outside during the Christmas festival, while everybody else was getting ready on stage. So we showed fitness.
Mhm.
She played Fleetwood Mac. She led us through this whole sequence that we had practiced doing our exercises with our legs and our arms and getting our posture really good. We performed it and we did exercise with her for a year. And I was 8 years old. And it never left my mind what she did. I grabbed onto it like I've never grabbed onto anything.
Right.
And then I got into it. I stayed into fitness when I was 17 years old. I started going around to clubs. One of the first ones that many of people that live in BC probably heard of was called Fitness World. And it was actually called European Spa way back.
Mm.
And I went around to 5 locations and I'm like, I'm a junior bookkeeper and I want to do group fitness classes, but you don't have one at 4:15. I need it exactly like this. And in my young self, I went around to all these gyms and said, I need you to make a class for me. A manager came out of a door and she looked at me and she said, well, why don't you teach one then? And that was it.
Nice.
And that's where it started. So it's been quite the crazy journey.
Yeah,
Right?
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I also know that you went for training too later on, right? Obviously not at that age.
Exactly. So I was an accountant. I worked for Revenue Canada for a decade. I was in private practice. I was a junior CGA certified general accountant. And I would rush from Port Coquitlam, and it used to be called the Cape Horn Interchange.
Okay.
And I taught this one class. And in order to teach out one class, I had to take all of this training. I had to take exercise science training. I had to learn about the heart, the muscles, that's my cats, the
Oh,
hearts, the muscles, the bones.
cats are welcome, by the way.
Oh, yeah, the household of my fur babies. So I had to learn all of this exercise science. I had to learn bones. I had to learn muscles. I had to learn about the heart. And all I could think of while I was learning it is all I really want to do is move people.
Right.
But it was super important. I mean, in my 30 years of my career now, I'm like, oh, good thing I learned all that. And I went further on that. So they taught us how to teach people how to move and exercise. And that's what it really was. It was like, here's how to work your bicep. Here's what the joint does. So we learned all that.
Right.
But I went further than that. I went up to SFU and I did my health and fitness certificate diploma. I went on to do different avenues. I took different workshops. I learned from scientists. Once I started getting into the scientist end of it, my whole world opened up. And my goal was to take science that we couldn't understand and take it out here so people could just do it and not have to dig deep into the science and still feel confident they could do it. And that led me into writing a program in the province of BC. It was a fitness leadership program. It was accredited by our education institutes, implemented in a private college, and I ran it as a director and an educator of a 340-hour program
Wow.
where our personal trainers came out with multi-certifications and a diploma program that was accredited through our government. And that is where I ended COVID. So I have been teaching now other people for the last 12, 15 years full time how to become fitness professionals. And it all started when I was 8 years old.
That is unbelievable. That is so fabulous, you know?
Right?
Yeah, that
Like,
is so fabulous. I like the fact that you did it to, like at 8 years old, you did it to music because like I have the health issues now, but for me, exercise to music is one of the things that I think gets people moving the most, you know, most invigorating, whatever the word is.
right, right. I come from a family of musicians. My uncle, Wayne Kinley, played with Loretta Lynn. He was the steel bass guitar player
Nice.
for him and Blaine.
Mhm.
They went across the border for years.
Right.
My dad, Gene Kinley, is a bass guitar player before he passed. He played with Hank Williams and Hank Williams Jr.
Wow.
And my cousin, Brian Kinley, also played with Loretta Lynn and Hank Williams Jr. And I have a long history of musicians. And funny, I cannot hold a tune. And people say to me, "Did you take dance lessons?" I said, "I was born to move to
Oh,
music."
yeah.
My family, we had jams in the basements, and it was as long as you could move the guitar and my cousin could move his arms on the drum,
Right.
we danced and we sang. And
Fabulous.
that was our family. But on the other end, they were all hockey players.
That's fabulous. You know, it's just interesting. You mentioned about the movement. You know, whenever I'm somewhere and I watch, there's music on, and you know, whatever the venue is, and people sort of sit there and listen. And I always think, how come they're not moving? Because I've got to move something when I hear it.
Right? My
And
son is 21 years old, and I was teaching a group fitness class, step class, to music when I went into labor
oh,
at Just Ladies Fitness.
right.
I had to have him C-section, and a doctor had flown in from a plane in Hawaii. He just got out of a whole dance luau thing. It was just insane. He wore the flowers when I had the C-section, and he said to me, he said, "Your son is dancing at 128 beats a minute." And my Dylan, who is now a scholarship athlete with rhythm,
Wow.
he said to me, he goes, "The rhythm in him." And that was 2 seconds of coming out of the womb. And the nurses were just fascinated that he was rocking to this music. And I was like, before this, I was teaching a step class to 128 beats a minute. And that's what he was coming out to.
Oh my
It was
gosh.
fascinating,
It is so fascinating. Oh,
right?
wow.
So you didn't even know that about music and me. See? There's a connection.
yeah, for sure. So you said you were teaching in Hawaii?
The doctor that performed the C-section on me, he was teaching dance in Hawaii.
Oh, I
He
see.
got on the plane,
Oh,
came
okay.
home, and was coming through Surrey to go to VGH, and
Oh,
he was still dressed in all his Hawaiian gear and everything because
okay.
he just got off of a dance group.
I didn't get that connection when you first said it, so that's so cool.
And then he said, he says, "It's like your son is dancing to my dance group." And I was
Yeah.
so out of it because I've had, right?
Yeah.
And then a few hours later, the nurse had said to me, she goes, "It was just a very roundabout way
Mm.
that this doctor was here." She says, when you had told me you were teaching a group fitness class to music, and your son was born with that rhythm, and this doctor, she goes, "That doctor landed here to give you the C-section."
Unbelievable.
And I was like, isn't that a funny roundabout? And it was just a very rarely good experience
And
all the
what,
way around.
yeah, and what a fabulous memory to share with your son and assuming he has children later on or whatever, you know? that get that message. It's just so wonderful. It really
right?
is wonderful.
Rhythm is lovely. Rhythm brought three people, one coming into the world,
Yes.
one in the world, one in a whole different field that brought those three people together. So I think rhythm, as you said,
Yeah.
is just such a beautiful, normal aspect. And
Right.
I tell this to people all the time, Nancy. This is really funny. They say, I have no rhythm. I'm like, you're born with rhythm. Your heartbeat does 70 beats a minute, say 70 to 80. You have it.
Yeah.
Athletes have rhythm because they're running to the beat of their heart. And it's just so people say most athletes can dance. I said they're actually it's the rhythm they're using.
Yes.
Yeah, it's quite the mesh over. So interesting when we talk about music
Yeah.
and the value it brings, right?
Right. And if people
Yeah.
just listen, like I can hear, the train going over the tracks, and I hear that rhythm.
Right.
Even that wants me. So if you just pay attention, right?
Right?
Yeah, you can
Mhm.
just hear it, and it's like you want to. Again, for me, I want to move.
Yeah, yeah.
I want to
I
move.
don't. And you'll see me here like when I lecture, and I lecture online too, teaching exercise science, I do bone dances.
Mm,
I do muscle dances. You'll see me teaching. When I teach people, I'm like, and 4, 3, when we talk, when we sit, your upper body's moving. Just because your lower body's sitting in a chair
yeah.
doesn't mean you can't move around. So my pain-free movement is putting all of my knowledge together and offering easy pain-free movement to people who are experiencing pain.
Right.
And we can just do rhythm with a stick.
Yeah.
We can just do rhythm with breathing, but I like to get their bodies moving to a nice, easy rhythm of music and then to just have them move through action and
Mhm.
slowly increase their range of motion in
Right.
pain-free movement to rhythm.
Yeah.
They love it.
Yeah. Well, for sure. I mean, people want those people who need to move. Some of them don't necessarily want to, but they need to for health reasons, right?
Mhm.
That's really great that they can contact you. And like you said, you do it online now, right?
Mhm.
Because
Mhm.
of COVID, of course, we're all in a different
Yeah.
situation. So I'll have to get your link for that so people can contact you and join one of your classes. Um,
Excellent. And even my cooking, my passion is cooking.
oh,
And
there you go.
every cooking show I open with, I'm like, and this is track such and such, and we got to get the kitchen rhythm going. And everybody laughs at me, and I'm like, it's rhythm, people.
I love it so much. It is
Right?
so awesome. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
And I watch my 21-year-old son. He's a basketball player. So
Okay.
he's got a full ride scholarship at University of Fraser Valley. He's slowly worked himself up. He is been gifted with learning disabilities, a lot of them, and
Okay.
it's his challenge. But I watch him move with the ball, and I literally film their warm-ups, and you see his rhythm with the ball, and when the music changes, he double times his hands and stuff, and no matter what happens, I look at that and I'm just like, even here, and people are like, athletics, I'm like, it's all the 5 minutes of the warm up and all these great songs and watching all these athletes do their dancing, let their characters come out instead of going to that strict shoot the three.
Oh
That's
my.
my favorite thing to watch.
People must really enjoy working with you or listening to you or exercising to it, because like I'm enjoying just listening to it all. I
Right?
think it's just, you make me feel all energetic, and I just think it's
Yeah.
marvelous, absolutely
Yeah.
marvelous. So your energy is very catchy.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It's where we should be. And when as a nutritionist too, I'm a nutritionist. I don't like to speak protein and carbs and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, this is the best tasting chicken I've ever tasted. Here's our spices. Let's go. And then people will say to me, should you do skin on or skin off? I'm like, and enjoy the chicken, people, and enjoy the chicken. Because we do get so wrapped up.
Yes.
And I try and bring my energy back and say, you know what? Enjoy the chickpea. Let's enjoy the rhythm. Let's enjoy it. Let's not be too boundarized with everything and just. So I think I bring that across in my energy, and people are starting to feel that more and more.
Very
It's
good.
good energy.
Very
Thank you.
good. Now, how many classes do you have a week right now?
So currently, as an educator, I have spent the last 15 years educating the masses in the province.
Mhm.
I am a trainer of fitness leaders for British Columbia Recreation and Parks Association. That gives you a certification in personal training or group fitness
Right,
or aquafit, yoga, Pilates. You can get into all of that kind of stuff.
right.
So prior to COVID, I was teaching a lot. So I still have students. I teach privately, and we do it through two-way. I also work in facilities and do a small amount of face-to-face. January is my big change to my solid set schedule because I've been 18 months developing this, moving to offer a schedule of cooking, pain-free movement, and just community support. And I'm launching that all for January, and
Mhm.
December is just getting it all ready. So currently, right now, I teach a couple group fitness classes in our local community center.
Right,
I have private clients that I teach within my studio. Where I am sitting right now is actually a 300 square foot studio. And if I pivoted all the way around, you would see all of the resistance equipment and everything we have in here. And I'm going to stay online and offer now my services in many fashions. It's community to get people to train themselves
very nice, very
and
awesome.
to just learn how to do it without the jargon around it and just do you. I think we've come to the point where the health and fitness industry doesn't have to be all of this,
Yeah,
what we see. And, if you like it and you like the food, that eat it. If you like that exercise or you like that movement and that's what you do daily, go do that, right? And
yes,
then just encourage people and help people when they need it. Kim, I did this. I'm like, well, try this movement. When you go to the pool, that'll be a little bit easier. And then they just go, thank you for the advice,
I like that. That is really,
right?
yeah, so it's individualized.
Yep. Yep. And they'll come as they need to. So I will stay online. I have my private stuff going on where I do courses and education. One of the things I got into about 3 years ago that I really enjoy, one of the best things is organic food sales.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I just as I have an athlete, and he has learning disabilities, and that brings the first brain and the second brain problems going together with
Right,
the high intense exercise. So I had to get into foods when he was about 14 or 15 years old that didn't have all these trigger and inflammatory responses.
right.
And that got me into doing organic food. And I hooked up with a company that's run out of Victoria in BC. And I thought if I can stay local and do that with those local and a beautiful group of entrepreneur women doing it, I'm going to cook and do organic sales. And that's my thing.
Wow.
So you'll see me all redoing all my schedules for January, and people will start following now. I've got my followings and stuff going on. As I met you on Instagram, which was awesome. I was following you for a bit. I was liking what you were doing. I checked out your YouTube channel. It was awesome.
Thank you. Thanks. I
Yeah.
love doing this because I learned so much,
Right.
right? And I love that part of it. And I was like, I was so curious, like I wanted to know. That's why I asked you at the beginning, how did it all start for you? Because that's
Right.
the thing. I love people's journeys. It's just always so wonderful. Now, it's
Yep.
all your information, it's on Facebook, right?
Yeah, I am in pretty much three spots. My company name, pardon me, is True Northwest Academy. There we go. That's my
Okay.
company.
True
And
Northwest.
what I did, it took us 2 years to design that. I did a computer because that's where I sort of want to stay. I did a fork and knives
Right.
because eating's important. And I put a little kettlebell in there because I wanted to talk about the history of the kettlebell. Wasn't about exercise.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was about weighing hay, and they used a kettle of hay, and that's how they sold it.
Oh,
And they noticed using these kettles that they got stronger doing it. So the gentlemen that were bringing the hay and stuff to the markets got stronger and practiced getting stronger with their kettles. So when they went to market, they were stronger. So that's my True Northwest Academy.ca is where I'm at.
okay.
Most of my stuff is on Facebook, where I have embraced a community of cooking, and I call it the Pantry Club.
Nice.
So you'll see me there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kim Bond. A lot of people they're like, I know you by name. I'm like, because I was probably your teacher. Or I've been in a conference presenting. You see me at conferences presenting and stuff like that.
Right.
So True Northwest Academy is my company.
Okay.
And you'll see it. You can go on Facebook. That's what it is. My pages link you to all my little groups going on, whether you want to do exercise, cook, or just connect as a community, all of it.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
let me stop there. So just stay on camera. Thank you everybody for watching. Now, I
Yeah.
really hope, like, if you listen to what Kim was saying, doesn't matter what your physical situation is, or whether it's for exercise or food, like good mental health, good physical health, she can help you. So I would encourage you to check it out, and you never know what the results is going to be. Probably going to be good. So yeah, thanks for watching the show. I hope you subscribe and share. Be generous, share.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
yeah, peace out, everybody. Thanks for
Yeah.
watching.
A sense of community, Chilliwack's a place to be. A sense of community where you're free. Rolling through the mountains, rolling through the valley, rolling through paradise with me. It's multicultural, you're sure to see it all. Chilliwack's a place to be, you'll see. Come party in the park, go dancing after dark. Chilliwack's a place to be, you'll see.